You're listening to The Great and Secret Knowledge, a speculative fiction podcast. I'm Jeff, and you are...
I am Sofia.
That's right. Hell yeah. Here we are. What did you think of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 7, Season 2, Episode 7, Unnatural Selection?
I feel scared now because I didn't like it. So now I feel like it's
It was pretty
disappointing.
busted. This one is not much beloved. But I feel like part of Star Trek The Next Generation's lore is the terrible old age makeup on Pulaski. You know, it's one of those images you'll never forget, even though it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that, to be able to see a little bit about the different infamous episodes.
For me, it really comes down to this director cared about the performances and nothing else. And so everything else was fucked up.
Yeah, but the script was also not good, so can't blame the director. Unless he's like, or they, I don't know who it was, but changed script somehow in the filming. Can I just mention something else? Because I remember we talked about when we did the Sherlock episode. I said that I would read the Sherlock story to see how Moriarty was in that story. If he is the same as like in the Star Trek or if it's something else. And really, he was not at all the same. He's like, in the book, he's like very, how do you say, like uncharming. He's like this kind of recluse and has like all these weird mannerisms and stuff. So I can see why they don't make like book accurate Moriarty.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have done that ever.
You mean in Star Trek or?
No, sorry, I just mean in general, because I have not seen a portrayal that looks like he was described in the book.
Yeah, I didn't see the episodes of Sherlock with Moriarty, so I don't know how they did it. And then I haven't really watched a lot of
BBC one?
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of other Sherlock content. I did like young Sherlock Holmes when I was a kid, though.
Is there Moriarty in that one?
I think there might be. But they're like young, so it's like teens. They have a sword cane battle at the end on the ice.
Oh,
it's pretty awesome. There's cultists that go, Ramatep, Ramatep. So funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, this one was written by 3 gentlemen. A pair of co-writers, John Mason and Mike Gray. And I did a little digging, and they're basically just TV hacks, like no big standout scripts as far as I could tell. But it might come up in my research here. Let's see. They did The Child, which we've already seen. Where Silence Has Lease. Elementary Dear Data. This must be story editor credits. That's producer credit. Let me keep moving on to writer. Yeah, just this one episode. And the other one, Mike Gray. No, that was who I was looking at. So it was like 2 producers and a story editor got together to write this. So, surprise, it's not that great.
Maybe they were like, oh, we don't have anyone. Let's just put this together?
Oh, okay. So this guy wrote The Outrageous Okono, which isn't good. And then these are, just story editor credits. Yeah, so not a big pedigree on this episode. It's a shame. It has potential. Like, I see ideas in the script, but like they don't go into anything in any great depth.
Yeah, I do like the premise in the sense that like rapid aging seems kind of it would be very frightening, but I think maybe I would say it's something that you could do better today. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's more
definitely.
of a book thing. Yeah.
If you can tolerate CGI, yeah. Like some people have a hard time. Me have a hard time with it.
I feel like this would work better as a book because then you could describe.
You know why it's not as scary? Because we're not in the room with Pulaski. We're not like seeing how she's reacting to death. And
Totally.
And like becoming more infirm. We get some of her like arthritis, you know?
Yeah.
But we don't get enough of her mental whatever.
Yeah. But I also feel like so much about aging is also the internal. Like when you see someone aging from the outside, sure you can see some of it, but I don't know, then it becomes more about the appearance than maybe about the experience. Like it would be interesting to have if you could portray it somehow about the internal stuff as well. But I'm not sure how.
Yeah, it's always hard to externalize that kind of stuff. You don't want to lean too heavily on voiceover. So you have to, I don't know, put stupid people in the room for them to talk to, or a therapist, or them talking to their television, talking on the phone. There's all these ways to do it, but they're mostly annoying.
Yeah, and I think it's more about, what is the experience like in, it's kind of similar if someone is sick or something. It can be really impactful if you describe it in the book, because then you can really describe like what the sensations are and like in their bodies. And I guess they could have some kind of speech and say like, oh, it feels like this, but it doesn't really feel the same as them just like having the thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so fast, it becomes just I'm tired, and like it's not like I am slowing down and having to give up on things I care about.
That's true.
What I mean? Like that shit takes time.
Yeah.
A whole life in some cases. Well, I guess a whole life is everybody's whole life, but not everybody gets to senior citizen.
True.
I guess it depends on how you die. If you get to a place where you can't take care of yourself, not everybody has to do that. Now I'm just thinking about old age and death. This is sad. This is not supposed to be sad. Star Trek. Let's see. I have a fondness for this episode in a weird, perverse way. Like I was excited to go back to it, and it did not disappoint. I don't normally go in for the like, how did this get made sort of watch this crap and then goof around about it. But this had that sort of mystery science theater potential. As for the director, Paul Lynch, he has 66 credits, a lot of stuff I've never heard of. FX the series, Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. He was mostly successful with Star Trek, so he did TNG and Deep Space Nine. So like a house director, like a real journeyman. It almost feels like they gave him their budget and they were like, don't spend too much, like don't move around the set too much. But then the sets are beautiful and the model shots are amazing. Like this episode doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like they spent more than usual.
You want to get into it?
Sure.
Let's see, what time is it? 9:30. I'm more or less on track time-wise. I decided to try to break down my notes so I can sort of have a sense as I go, like where I should break. And like skip ahead if it's getting dull or whatever. Because this episode does not need a full literary treatment. Okay, so they're headed to Star Station, India to rendezvous with a medical carrier. We're up on the bridge. Data's in command for some reason. And Troy walks in, goes to the captain's ready room. And Picard asks Troy about their doctor, Dr. Pulaski.
Which is also like a bad writing, I feel like. Just like, by the way, tell me about this person before, something relevant will happen.
Nowadays, they could have the captain go to her office like a normal client.
Yeah, that too.
And be like, friggin' Dr. Pulaski is on my balls, like... Make it natural rather than like, thank you for coming to my office, Deanna. Tell me about this woman that has been irritating me. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So she's giving off this vibe of like she's worried that he's trying to get her to talk shit about a coworker.
Yeah.
She says, I feel your concern, but I don't share it. Which I thought was a really good therapist way to disagree.
Yeah. I think that she is very much about trying to keep people agreeable. She doesn't want anyone to be like you said, she wouldn't gossip and be like, yes, this person is terrible.
Well, now I want that scene. They're in 10 forward with ice cream sundaes, like dishing.
Yeah. Do you think that she could? Like, she seems like she, maybe because she is so connected that she kind of sees everyone's point.
Oh, because of her natural ability, her empathic sense?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I bet. Ooh, that's interesting. Why weren't you there when they were writing these episodes? Deanna Troi needed more to do. What if we had an episode all about how she feels so enormously connected to every member of her crew that she starts to get a little frazzled trying to see them all and like help them through their shit? Or like one of them gets injured and she runs across the ship, like, I don't know. Could be some interesting stuff with that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll never do it.
No spoilers.
That's not exactly true. Oh man, sometimes I think a show didn't do a thing, but then I find out they kind of did. So I don't want to commit.
Yeah. Also, I wrote a general note to Picard, like, you should not touch your subordinates, because I think it's in this scene or in a later one, because like, no, inappropriate.
Did he touch Deanna?
Yeah. At some point, he like touched her back. I'm like, no, don't do it.
Oh man,
it's so funny to me also because I'm like, but like, I don't know
he
how.
sort of guided her, but he didn't actually touch her arm. Like, I just watched that scene because I was like,
oh, okay.
But
why would he need to guide her? I thought that he touched her.
So here, okay. Do you think there's any way on earth that the director said, kind of guide her with your hand? Or do you think that's just Patrick Stewart being Patrick Stewart?
Good question. I mean, it could be like, if I had to defend it somehow, I would say like, if like we have Troy being this like very warm person, that maybe it's supposed to show kind of like him being more warm towards her somehow.
Oh, definitely. I think that's what they're going for. But I also kind of feel like either Picard or Patrick Stewart wants to touch Troy, but it's not allowed. And so that's the happy medium.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which.
Yeah. Could be. And like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any more to say about it, but it was more like an HR thing.
I mean, that sort of thing was endemic to the culture, like in the 20th century or whatever. Male people touching their subordinates. So back on the bridge, they get a distress call from a nearby ship. It's garbled. It's something about dying. People dying, maybe.
I like also that you really could tell there was a really old voice. I was like, it sounds really old. So it was fun that they actually.
You mean like an old person, like that kind of old?
Yeah. It sounded like I think that was later in the very last like message. Then that one did sound like, oh, this sounds like a very old person.
Right. Well, they do make an entire commercial break between listening to it and listening to it again. Jesus. Yeah. What a script. Oh, my other theory was that it was a good script that was challenging, and these three guys like tore it to shit, and the original author didn't want their name on it. So yeah, we're back. We're still doing the call. They replay the thing. They find their location. And it's the USS Lantry. It's a Class 6 Federation supply ship. And Picard tells Data to go at warp 7. This thing goes up to warp 9.5 and above. What are we doing? Why wait? Like, somebody could be dying, right? I'll never understand Starfleet's protocols on this speed thing. I have heard it's that when you get over 7, like, it starts to affect the ship. It can cause like maintenance problems, blow out conduits and shit. But I don't buy it. I think it's about like fuel reserves and like, you know, they're keeping hours down. You know, it's like businessy shit. Anywho, they come across the Lantry. It's adrift. There's no other vessels around it. No battle damage. Troy can't sense anything. And I could tell they're trying to ratchet up the tension. But then I had the thought that it's hard to do that kind of slow burn ramp up of tension in 40 minutes. And this episode proved that that's hard. Oh, man. I just paused on this great shot of Worf. I mean, he's just being Worf, normal old Worf. But for some reason, with the caption below it, "We have to board her, Captain," it looks nasty or spicy. I don't know. It's weird.
I actually thought about that. I was listening to this podcast called Murder Pod, which was about the Murderbot TV series. And it's very fun, actually. I recommend it. But they did this wrap-up episode just the other day. And they talked about how, you know how there is, on that show, there's like the Sanctuary Moon within a show.
Yeah.
And they talked about how in the book, that show is like how to get away with murder. So it's this kind of more focused on legal stuff. And in the show, the showrunner said that they made it like a Star Trek parody. And one of the people who was on the pod, she said, okay, but I kind of take umbrage with that because it's not like the story that they tell in that show. It doesn't seem like Star Trek at all because it's just about people dealing with their emotions, and it doesn't feel like the themes are Star Trek at all. But then the other people said, but there is like some kind of unintentional sexiness with Star Trek that they captured, so they said that this was like the vibe. Where it's just like people are like having weird emotions and
like all the employees on Star Trek are at like a standard level 6 horniness at all times.
Yeah.
It could go up or down, but that's generally
that's what they took from it.
All right, so they've synced up their devices with the Lantry so that they can take over and fly it and stuff. So they override the controls, and they look through the view screen, And Dr. Pulaski rolls up. I'm not sure exactly why she needs to be on the bridge, but she's here. And they're all dead. The officers, they're all super old.
Yeah.
So they got a super old person to play the captain here. And I don't know if this is modern HD or if the director really wanted someone with a lot of bumps on their skin. But like they found the guy, if that was their intention.
Yeah, and it was distracting because you were like, oh, they died from all these warts,
I mean, is that a misdirect? Are they messing with their
No,
minds?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean,
strange.
also seems weird that people would have that in the future. You could fix the skin. But I guess if they age very rapidly, then they would not fix it.
Well, this is why this episode's confusing, because in the Star Trek canon, folks are pretty cleaned up. They're pretty tidy. Like they do a lot of cosmetic lasering or whatever. So it suggests that guy had a quick onset disease or whatever, because he wouldn't be captaining if he looked in that shape, I don't think.
But no, but doesn't the whole thing is that they age very quickly.
Yeah. Maybe.
So
I like this. What if those were all things that naturally would grow, fall off, where you'd treat them?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels weird because they probably just called in the lighting guy and he happened to have skin like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was unnecessarily distracting. But maybe the idea was just to like really. It could also be, I guess, that this was more common at that time, so it feels like it's a very normal sign of aging, but now we would treat it because it would look too distracting for people.
Are older people hotter than older people in earlier eras? That's
yeah,
funny.
I think so. Yeah.
More tidied skin. Okay, we're slowing down way too much. Got to speed things up here. Sure. Let's see. They're all dead. Picard does a really good oh shit face here. I think they go into commercial. After she says they died of old age, everybody's given these awesome reactions. And he's just like, ooh, as the camera pushes in. Oh, intense. Next, they go to the conference room. They listen to the captain's log. We hear this guy doing his exposition, and Riker says, Captain Talaka was my age, sir. The doctor says they were all in the prime of their lives, perfect health. One officer was treated for Thelusian flu. Hard to say that. Thelusian flu, but it's harmless.
Thelusian flu.
Thelusian flu.
The Lantry had visited Darwin Station, a genetic research facility. They decide to head out there. Worf leaves a beacon so no one will approach the Lantry, which, if I'm being honest, Klingons and shit, they'll roll up there. They'll be like, ooh, I bet there's treasure in there. They're not going to listen to your Starfleet beacon. Anywho, we go to Darwin and let's see, they call down there. Is this another telephone call?
Yeah, I think so. And they speak with this woman that I thought maybe was evil because she was being sneaky.
Dr. Kingsley. She's one of these like scientists that represent all the other scientists that we've come across before. The like president scientist.
Yeah.
And over time we learn that she's got a real particular view about how things should be biologically for humans. It's really strange. It's like they started adding stuff and they were like, well, I mean, sure, they got to be strong, right? Oh, yeah, they got to be strong. Ooh, what about smart? Sure, throw it in there. Ooh, telepathic? Do you think we should? I don't know. Okay, sure, why not? What else? Can they breathe underwater? They have flying antibodies that go into other people's bodies. What? Absurd. Sorry, I'm angry. The science in this episode is just all bad. But I love how she recognizes Pulaski as the author of some book. basically shows us that someone on the cutting edge of science respects Pulaski. Pulaski must be really good. And then she explains the illness. She was 35 a week ago, but she looks 60 or whatever. They think the Lantry is what brought them this illness. And she wants to talk about something or other. I can't remember the specifics, but Picard doesn't like that she's focused on business instead of honoring the dead on the USS Lantry. I thought that was odd. Like, dude, you're talking to a scientist. They're all about to die. Like, what's the difference? Who gives a shit? I don't know. Maybe I'm cold-blooded.
I don't know. It made me feel a little bit like they were trying to telegraph something, like that she was not sad about this. She was just like, but I agree. It doesn't seem. I don't know. In itself, it doesn't seem like anything unusual.
Yeah, again, I think the script is maybe the script is too subtle because it's not coming across.
Mm-hmm.
We're back in the conference room. Pulaski wants to beam the kids up to study. Deanna Troi is not sure that it's safe.
Yeah, they have such faith in their barriers and stuff, even though we have seen so many times different aliens just like going right through them. So
the child, like it just whooshed right through the bulkhead. Can't do shit. Let's see. Picard's suspicious about the whole thing. He's decided against it. And then Pulaski says, what about one child encased in styrolite in suspended animation? Picard deliberates, and then he agrees, but he won't let her bring him up until they've proof that they'll be harmless. I don't know how they expect to figure that one out. Because this styrolite, whatever it is, clearly bounces medical scanning signals off or something.
Yeah.
Because she has to get in them guts. Oh, it's not even that, though. She's not going to, like, dissect the kid. She just has to, like, touch him? Like, what good are these medical tricorders? I don't get it.
Yeah, what they're going to see that you can't see on a camera.
Yeah. I mean, they do surgery with little screwdrivers. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they put up a force field in sickbay. They beam the kid up. O'Brien talks some wild techno speak down in the transporter room.
Yeah.
I'm altering the delta T so the styrolite coating materializes 2 microseconds ahead of the child. It has to be right the first time.
I said here, I bet he got more acting time because he did the techno babble so well. Because he comes back a lot.
Yeah, and I didn't follow. And like, for me, it's like, since I'm an engineer, if I don't follow, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna try to understand it. Because
just let it roll off.
Yeah, like, if I don't follow, it probably doesn't make sense.
Okay. I don't know how we've never talked about the engineering on this show. Because it comes up a lot. Like, the fact that you're an engineer might relate. Like, I know most of it is fake science and stuff, but it'd be interesting to hear from an engineer every so often. So the boy arrives, and Worf shouts, "A trick!" And Picard's like, calm down, bro. Whatever he is, he's still in stasis.
A trick!
Yeah, but I was also didn't they look like full-on adults? I wasn't sure why they were called children.
This is another thing this lady chucked in their kids. This is so messed up. So they're telepathic, right? But get this. Flying antibodies. What? That'll kill a lot of people. It's fine. But even better, pièce de résistance. They grow like twice as fast.
Sounds like they're farmed to be clones or something. Like, you know, this kind of clone organ thing. Like, they're like, let's grow them really quick. Like a chicken.
Terrible. Yeah, those are the implications of this technology.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, at least in the Federation, there's not a profit motive. So, but as soon as this tech gets outside the Federation, my God, clone armies, like just really gross sex stuff. I don't know. It's all bad. Don't do it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's like, I feel like if you wanted to create really gifted people, it would make sense for them to be children longer instead, because then it would have more time to like really form all these connections and stuff.
Of course. Yeah, like, oh my God. The kid I knew that got bumped up a full grade, like once I did a older person's class, but it was mostly because I was being bullied by the teacher. No, by the kid of the teacher whose class I was in. Doesn't matter. But the kid that went up a full year was socially awkward, had all sorts of issues. Like, who knows what all was in the soup, but he ended up having a really tough time. Maybe a longer adolescence is better. I mean, imagine giving a 12-year-old a body that could beat up like an adult. It's not a good look.
No, I think not. And it was confusing the way that they were older, because since we had established this thing about the people aging quickly, and Worf was like upset, I thought that this child had aged, even though they said that they hadn't.
They said he was 12 years old.
Yeah, so what I mean is that they said, okay, we're gonna send you this child. Then they send an adult. And Worf is like, oh, a trick. And I thought that he meant, oh, they said that these people were not affected, but clearly they have aged. So clearly they lied. You know, he is affected by this disease. This grown-ass child, you know.
Oh, right. It's like sabotage. Haha, here's a diseased person.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up thing to do.
Or that they like somehow wanted to save the children and they just pretended that they had not been affected, but seems strange.
Yeah. God, Worf is so quick to start shooting. It's crazy. Oh, shit. So they check out the kid. There's a distinct personality. For some reason, they keep mispronouncing stasis. Like Troy says stasis. I don't know. Maybe that was a British thing.
Oh.
Even in stasis, it's quite strong.
Somebody says the future of humanity. Was that Pulaski sort of expressing concern about the future?
I mean, I think they are at least referring to the children. Yeah, I think that they were kind of a little bit apprehensive about, because they were so much like, oh, they have all these great things, and then they thought, oh, is this like the next step for humanity and we are obsolete? You know, that's how I took it.
Okay, so there's the big idea at the heart of the thing, is if somehow we were able to make a genetic advancement that makes a species just better than us in every way, how do you show that conflict unless you accelerate time by giving them flying antibodies, right? Like in the real world, it would take hundreds, thousands, whatever years for a different culture to develop. But here they're like, you must stay on that planet and never leave, and no one can ever visit because it'll destroy humanity. Like they're trying to say something, but they're not. I don't know. Unless I'm completely missing it.
No, I can see what you mean. It's kind of like making this kind of generational gap really dangerous. You know, this idea of like, oh, the younger generation, what are they gonna like do? And then you literally make them like lethal to the existing humans.
Evil teenagers. That's like a huge what do you call it? Trope in sci-fi. There's an entire episode of Star Trek, the original series, called Miri, that has that sort of theme, is dangerous teens. Yeah. Okay, so we got two things happening at once. A lot of ideas being bandied around. We get some Picard eyes to commercial, and then they're getting their scans in. Or no, the cliffhanger is the kid's sleeping face. which is pretty weak. Look, it's a grown man, but it's a kid. Ooh, it's not moving. There's not really anything happening. So next, they're getting their scans in. Picard shows up, and Pulaski says, "This kid is amazing." She wants to remove the styrolite to study him better. She says, "We could use a force field." And he's like, "Doctor, what the fuck?" He says something like force fields fail, which, like, duh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that they were pretty cautious in this episode, so I like that. Because they knew, like we said, that all this stuff gets through things.
And that cautiousness shows their competence, which we love. But again, because the episode's not long enough, it seems like they're stalling. You know, like there's a weird tension that I feel like shouldn't be there.
I don't know. I think that the main problem is that we are not given any reason why there's a rush. You know, the reason that they give doesn't make sense by the end.
The ticking clock is not explained. Like, they don't go, by our calculations, the youngest of us will die in 12 hours. So there's your sort of, I don't know. We have 12 hours to solve this thing, but it's real nebulous until Pulaski gets it. And then we still don't really know how much time we have.
Yeah. And what I mean is that they want to bring all the children away from the station. And they said, if you don't do it, the children will not make it. I'm like, why? Like, there is no explanation.
Just send Data down there, put them all in stasis. Data monitors them for 6 months or whatever. Make sure the place is fumigated. Bob's your uncle. Everybody's back in business.
Yeah, but I don't actually think that Data should be near this disease. Because even if he can't be infected, he wasn't even sure. But if he couldn't...
Oh, he might have been a carrier.
Yeah, you know, are you sure that you can really sterilize him properly? And I'm sure you can't really maybe sterilize him in the way you could an object, because I assume he could be damaged.
That's a really great point. Yeah, it's important to think about those opposing forces, right? Like, if he's impossible to hurt, how do you clean him? What sort of products do you use? Like, how caustic can they be? Like, if they melt his uniform, does he just replicate a new one? Is the uniform part of him?
I think it's a normal, just clothing.
So he'd have to get naked to apply these products. That could be an interesting scene. Yeah,
and it would be... it would be funny if they ran him through some kind of dishwasher or something. Or like a car wash, like shh.
Oh, there's like a little ante room, right? We get a scene of him like taking off his uniform, and then he drops him in a bucket, and like it goes into the wall, and it's sterilized or destroyed or whatever. And then he goes into the room, and they hit him with a spray. Maybe he has one of those big brushes, like a long-handled brush that he's scrubbing himself.
Yeah, but you would have to like sterilize the inside as well.
The inside of Data?
Yeah, because I think he does like have some kind of, or is he like totally closed off?
He's completely enclosed except for certain sections, but that's only because of what they could afford to do on TV, right? He may like open up completely in the middle, you know, like it could be like a flayed open corpse. Like, that would be awesome. He's getting all decontaminated, and then he's like, and they spray his insides.
They would have to clean his mouth at least. That's okay.
Laser toothbrush.
Yeah.
God, these are great scenes we didn't get. Maybe in Starfleet Academy we'll get a robot deep cleaning. Let's see. Where were we? So they're getting their scans in. Oh, force field. So he says, no, we're not going to do force fields. She says he's a human being who needs our help. And he says, prove that he's harmless. And then on his way out, he's like, and if you let me finish a sentence once in a while, that'd be cool.
And Doctor, God knows I'm not one to discourage input, but I would appreciate it if you'd let me finish my sentences once in a while.
It was funny. It was very sassy. But I don't know. Did you feel like she was? I mean, she was disagreeing with him, but do you think that she was being like, I don't know. I'm not gonna rude is one thing, but I'm like, do you think that she was ruining their communication?
Absolutely not. This is late 80s patriarchy. This is nonsense. She is expressing a doctor's viewpoint from a doctor's philosophy. This isn't some alien bullshit. She's not trying to give it to him. Like, I don't know what his deal is. It's stupid.
Yeah. That's what I also think. I didn't feel like it would have been one thing if he was like saying like one word and she's like blah, 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 and then I could have been like, now you're but I felt like they each said like whole sentences, so she got what you meant, you don't need to, you weren't cut off.
Personally, I think obviously science fiction is speaking to the people of their times, not some distant future generation. But like, I think looking back, she's slightly older than him. He feels threatened. He's making a thing out of it. But honestly, he should be able to be like, you're absolutely right. This is a fucked up situation. Let's figure out a way to solve it.
Yeah.
Feel free to say as much as you want, put it in the report, but I don't know, he's testy.
Yeah.
He should add can't talk to old people in his CV too, next to like doesn't like kids.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it in the sense that like when he speaks to Troy and she's like, you two just clash, so. But it was funny because I didn't really see the disrespect. I was like, she was fine,
Yeah. No, I mean, we saw any original Star Trek fan saw Kirk and McCoy. They were very combative at times. McCoy always loved a good fight, would always give as good as he gets. So I don't know. I think they were trying to manufacture something here.
Yeah.
To make up for like the unrequited love tension of Beverly.
Maybe they were like badly directed, if the script said that they should like interrupt each other, and maybe they didn't like do it enough. Maybe they were supposed to speak more over each other and stuff.
It's possible. There's plenty of blame to spread around on this one.
Yeah.
I love this scene with Troy. Troy is amazing. She says, let's just say you both have well-established personalities. She's got this big old smile on her face. It's like, that is not helpful at all. Like, you're just saying words.
Let's just say you both have well-established personalities.
But that's how you are when you don't want to spread gossip between two friends. You're just like, you both are very committed to your viewpoints. It's like, what? He's a dickhead. Next up, Pulaski calls Dr. Kingsley. And Kingsley's really worried about the kids. So Pulaski goes to Geordi for help. Now, okay. What are we seeing? We're seeing a doctor saying to her captain, this is what needs to happen. Figure it out. Stop fighting me on this. Then she goes immediately to the chief engineer, right? That's a good idea, correct? That's what the captain should have done. And he's like, oh yeah, shuttle. Solved it.
Yeah.
Should have gone to him first.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way because I also thought it was funny when she had spoken to him and he just went back to like doing some kind of booping at the terminal, and it seemed almost like she tricked him or something, but it wasn't anything serious, so I don't know. He just seemed so unconcerned, like, oh, okay, just another little chat.
So here in my notes, I go, shuttlecraft! And I go, I swear Starfleet should always do shuttlecraft research. They should have a medical shuttle on every ship. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Just stick the diseased kid in there and fly it several thousand kilometers away. You're good to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Same goes for weird warheads, thinking robots, goop in a jar. I don't know. Worf's in charge of security, so you get what you get. Up in the ready room, she asks the captain for a shuttle. Is it her or him that says you don't have to quote the rule book?
I think her.
Yeah. And he agrees with her. And at first she does, it's like a vaudeville bit. She's like, "La, la, la, la." Oh, you agreed with me.
Yeah, that was funny. I know.
They're trying to fit some comedy in here where they can. Down in the shuttle bay, she's chatting with Data, and she tells him he's coming with her. And as they're getting ready, Data's like, "So did the captain approve this?" And she's like, "Yeah, fucking, of course."
Yeah, I wasn't sure about, because I feel like everybody should know at all times what the captain has said and not said. Like, how does Data not know this?
The captain would say it, Riker would relay it, Data would already be there before she even got there because he's a damn robot.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if maybe she was sneaking Data off, and that's what he was supposed to.
That's the only thing that works, right? Is that the writers are just fucking with us, which I guess is fine if it's Naked Gun, but it's Star Trek, so it's a little strange.
Yeah, I guess I thought that maybe she lied to Data and said, yeah, the captain said that you should come. And he's like, oh, really? Okay.
That's a more interesting episode.
Yeah. That was the only thing that worked for me. Why was he confused about? Yeah.
It'd be funny if she had like a device and she waves it in front of his head and he's like, oh, the captain agreed to it. Like she's a badass super spy as well as a doctor.
Hypnosis. Yeah, and I think that with it's like you said, with Picard doesn't speak to Geordi. It seems like he is being very chill in this episode. He's just like doesn't tell Data. Maybe he is feeling off.
I think it's because he doesn't respect Pulaski.
So he's just like, do this on your own time.
He always did whatever Beverly said. Like, do the same with this lady. Like, she didn't get to be chief medical officer of the flagship because she's like, gets high on the on her lunch break. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so Data pilots the shuttle. We get this cute model shot. Cut to the bridge. Picard looks thoughtful. Contemplative. I mean, he's seeing her go off to her death, presumably. So I think that's what the emotion he's trying to convey there. But yeah, we get this great little model shot. Data does some. There's this moment where he throws up his hand and then comes down to tap the computer. He's just having fun with it. I have this theory that Data expresses human-like emotions based on who he's with, like to try to impress them. And so he's like dialing it up to 11 with Catherine. She wants him to. Oh, that's another idea that's in this episode, is her reckoning with like how human can an android be? Or can he understand human desires, to stay alive or save kids or whatever it is. But yeah, on the shuttle, she's doing this anti-robot chat. He mentions that she could be exposed. She says that's just part of being human. Though it's just part of being a doctor. Like, that's your job on the ship. Like, I mean, I guess she could assign the job to someone else. But that seems rude. The episode would be so much different if she's back at sickbay sipping tea while like some no-name is risking their lives
Data
on the shuttle.
Do the scans and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to pause it. Android, can he just like put in a patch that makes him the world's best doctor or nurse? Or is he limited by certain kind of programming? Because we never really see him do first aid.
Yeah, I feel like it would be just theory mostly, because it's not like they're doing a lot of physical, things.
I mean,
so
there's
he
muscle
should be able
memory
to
in every job, but like, I feel like he's powerful enough that he can get around the need for that.
Yeah, I just mean that when we see them do medical stuff, it's like a lot of it is connected to different devices. So I assume there's like a standard way to use the devices. It's not like an artist just like, woo, just...
But if you yourself are a computer, like, wouldn't it be cool if his like little cable just comes out and hooks into the medical tricorder and like all of a sudden he's the world's best doctor?
Yeah, I think that he could just read all of the doctor. Like he could learn all of the theory.
Yeah.
From just speed reading.
But the creators of this show didn't want to think too hard about how much better than humans Data would be at everything, because it would kind of break the show. We need the world's best doctor. Oh, well, Data's here. Okay.
Yeah, it is. But that's also one of the thing about writing, like that. Maybe they should have decided on this at the start, like what is his weakness somehow, because it does seem like he's very overpowered.
Yeah. So they beam the kid onto the shuttle, and there's this great effect where she waves some device over the kid and the styrolite vanishes. Did you peep that device?
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm wondering if that's like a remastered thing. It seems too good for the time. But again, here we have this episode that like is full of ideas. It's got great visuals, cool models, visual effects, but it's not quite an episode. Boy sits up. Now he doesn't speak aloud. I don't know if it's because he doesn't know how, or...
I think it's because he's telepathic, so why would he need to? He just speaks with his mind. It's the normal thing
It'd be
for him.
fun, though, if he was like, and she had to give him some water, and he was trying to do it, but his muscles aren't, like, trained properly, so then he focuses on telepathy, as, like, a kind of... Like, he introduces us to the idea rather than, oh, no, and she just smiles at him for 5 seconds, and we're like, oh, I guess he's telepathic. Telepathy is always hard to come across in shows because it's so dull, right? Like, it's all in here, Back on the bridge, Picard's pacing. He says, she's been in contact with the boy for 18 minutes. Quick cut, unexpectedly, for this slow episode. Maybe they're ramping up the tension now that we're in Act 2. She says some nonsense about Data's bedside manner. It didn't really make sense to me. I don't know if that worked for you.
No.
This is where she has her arthritic twinge. She's like in horrible pain, and she tells Picard it's the initial symptom of the disease. So we're in the transporter room. O'Brien's getting things ready. And there's so many different sized screens in this one. We got a desk thing with a white frame. We got this tiny little Picard and a big gray frame. I don't know, like big view screens. So many screens. So Pulaski tells the boy that it's not his fault, and he gets beamed away. Picard's like, what should we do? And she says, don't break quarantine. And she says, I'm not exactly under technical specs. And then she tells Data it's a joke. And my thought here was, so she's not only speciesist, she's also a bad joke writer? Or has a terrible sense of humor? I don't know. Maybe she's too in pain to think of a good one. Back at the conference room, Troy's like, shouldn't Pulaski be on this? she's convinced that Data's immune, that he can't transfer the disease. O'Brien says we don't have a way to remove it during transport. But then he's like, but I've just thought of some other technobabble, a transporter chase.
Yeah.
Which sounds fun. Or was it trace? Maybe it's trace.
Trace, yeah.
Ah, shit. Why did I write chase? Transporter chase sounds awesome. There we go. Geordi says it's possible. Picard says do it. And then he says this weird thing. He goes, it seems we have no alternative. I'm like, why all philosophical right at the end of the meeting? It's odd. Riker says she never transports. So they have to call the USS Repulse, where I think she served on it or something. They got to get some more info. Next, we have this great model shot of the planet as the shuttle comes into Darwin Station. And now we get Pulaski and Data on the station. Kingsley apologizes that she has to be here. Pulaski says she chose it. And now we learn what these kids are all about. Apparently they were designed to resist disease. And we get this weird period of silence. And it's because the kids are all telekinetic. Genetically engineered kids. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, the science is telepathic, right? But they are also telekinetic.
Wait, the scientist is telepathic?
No, sorry, the silence, is because
the
they're
silence,
telepathic.
yes, of course, yes. Telekinetic, like, Jesus, I'm not pulling out that character. He's dead to me. There's too many things. But the kids have this aggressive immunity. Data mentions the Lantry and the flu. Apparently, the kids produce a, quote, active antibody. Airborne immune cells. What the fuck? What kind of nightmare person would invent such a thing? Like, the fact that Pulaski and Data aren't like, are you insane? How could you be so stupid? Like, why didn't that happen? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're being a little bit mad scientists.
The potential to weaponize this technology is absurd.
Yeah.
You could wipe out humanity. Like, they didn't... I'm so mad. Pulaski's just treating it like a science problem. Okay, well.
Yeah, that's true.
Good thing Picard didn't come down. So Picard talks to somebody who knows Pulaski. Says they erased her pattern. I guess they erased them after some period of time. His name is Taggart. Oh shit! Here's a Picard facepalm. Oh my god! I've never seen this Picard facepalm. I have to screenshot it.
You have collection.
Oh my god! So yeah, what did you think of this conversation about what's her name? Pulaski.
Which part? I don't.
Him talking.
I'm not sure which one we're on.
He's talking to the guy from her old ship. Apparently, she admired Picard himself and asked for this assignment.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in this episode, this universe feels too small. Everybody knows everybody. I feel like it's a little bit, or not know, but like.
Right. How does Picard not know a 60-year-old like top flight physician in Starfleet? Like, surely he's met her at parties or something, How many thousands of ships are there? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's almost the opposite. Like, I think like everybody's just. I'm not. What I feel like with this, the way that we have seen this ship so far, it seems like just a normal ship. Like I don't feel like they're doing anything extraordinary or like anything that I would feel would be outside of any ship that's supposed to have a specific duty, So it feels strange to me. This is like, yes, you're famous. I'm like, why? Like, I don't feel like he's done anything specific, but maybe it was before this series.
This is for TV viewers to be like, oh, I thought Picard was great, but apparently other people do as well.
And to me, it feels a little bit like the scope feels too small when we just like this other person is, instead of it being like, oh yeah, we are a big organization, people like go at different places, then it feels like weird that it's just like, oh, she came here specifically, you know. It doesn't have to be that. I'm not sure how to put it, but it seems somehow that it makes the world feel smaller to me.
Interesting. Well, I got a great picture of it, but it'll be a little more complicated to get it to you. So back on Darwin, Data lays out what happened. Picard says, extraordinary. Like finding out people are talking about how great you are.
I think it's because she's so adversarial to him. So he's like,
it's her fucking job. She's the doctor. When have you ever seen like laid back hippie doctor? Come on.
That's true.
That's not a thing. So Data lays out what happened. The virus alters the people's DNA. This is where I go, this shit would be a weapon of mass destruction. Just drop a few busloads of diseased kids on a planet and down they go. Now they have to nuke this place from orbit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you would think.
Yeah, that's true.
Star Trek doesn't nuke the kids from orbit.
No, but I agree with you. Like either that or they have to make some kind of like really intense quarantine. You can't just leave it. Like you would have to have like some gunships staying like next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to have like hundreds of employees monitoring the situation. You'd have to have, it'd be a prison. You'd run a prison for human beings.
Yeah.
And with all those people, there's the potential that one of them will take pity on one of these diseased kids and rescue him.
Yeah.
And then it's all over for humanity.
Yeah, and are you allowing them to have children? You know, or are they like, no, your people have to die out, you know?
Maybe this is why this episode is so reviled, because like the implications are horrendous.
Yeah.
They're staggering. They're vile. Like there is no way to do this. Like when they stick Moriarty in a box, you know, and we'll get to him 20 years later. That's one thing. This is, it's over for you, humanity. It's just a matter of time until one of these diseased kids gets out.
Yeah. I think.
This is fucking me up.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the problem is also the way that they talked about it at first. They were like, these children cannot survive on this station. And then they're like, oh, they're going to have to live alone on the station. And I'm like, okay, so this was not a problem? Like, or is this like a problem now that they are alone and done? If they are just children and all the adults have to leave them.
What the fuck? They're going to have like robotic drones and like employees monitoring from like a second location. Like until they're able to like socially keep from murdering each other or whatever. Obviously, most kids wouldn't do that. Like I just heard that Lord of the Flies is like highly unlikely. But anyway, you still need adults around to like shepherd children into like adulthood.
Yeah. I feel like that.
It's just, and even there you've got like human interaction. One of those people is going to be like, oh, he needs a sweater, and then boom, it's lights out.
It would be funny if they sent Data and they were like, okay, now you have to stay here forever.
I just got an image of Data with an apron that says like kiss the chef or something, and he's like stirring up cookie dough. There's kids jumping all around him that are 6 feet tall.
Do you think that Data could be? Do you think that Data could be a parent?
He'd be a weird parent. He obviously he knows everything we know, right? So like for the most part, so he'd know who were the most respected child psychologists, and so he'd like convey that information, but without any emotion, they'd have to get that from one another. So he could manage that, but he can't like model it, if that makes sense. I think
that if he had to like take care of a newborn, this newborn would be weird, but maybe not. Yeah. Maybe not like just that it would learn all of like the social stuff from him, and it would maybe pick up some weird habits. But
at 12 years old, we don't know what range of age the kids are, but we know at least one of them's 12. At 12 years old, hopefully they're emotionally matured enough like that they won't turn out completely bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, baby raised by Data would be odd for sure.
I wonder how old children would have to be to just like thrive on their own. If they were like 15, is it fine, or is it like, or they're 20? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Would they want to pass human civilization on to their future generations if they knew that they were going to be in prison for the next 500 years or whatever? Like,
yeah. Would
they give a shit, or would they revert to sort of a like different type of society?
Yeah. Yeah. And how, I don't know. I feel like it's a really interesting concept, this thing, like you said, about if you have this group of people that are immune to this disease and they're carriers. Actually, there was a cool Swedish book about this where the premise was that all the men were carriers of this disease, and so they were all put in these camps because the women would die from the disease, and the men didn't die, but they would spread it. So that's a little bit similar.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, Starfleet Academy is like 900 years in the future or 800 years in the future. So like they should come back, or like these people got out and just laying waste to humanity. Or they like wear special suits so none of their disease kid energy can escape, and like one or the other.
Well, I mean, they have said that they are these advanced humans, so I could imagine them also being more empathetic. So maybe they could just be like, okay, we'll give you this planet, don't leave it. And they will be like, yes, we will not leave it, But then no one can come there as well.
But would that concern and compassion last generation after generation?
Maybe for them, I could see it, but yeah. And I think that the thing is that we have to assume is that they will find some kind of cure for this. I assume that would be the plan, to try to science fix it.
That would be a great Star Trek episode where we come back to them. We're like, look, we met these genetic engineering freaks out in Vlorpulon Beta. They just need to spray this goo on you and you'll be good to go. And they're like, silently, no, we don't want to do that. We're anti-goo people, and you have an episode.
Seems like what is it now? Sector General Hospital? I think there's a book series that is all about this alien science. No, what am I saying? Alien healthcare.
That sounds awesome. There was a cartoon on Hulu, I think. It was cute, but it wasn't like laugh out loud. It was kind of loud and annoying in many ways, but I can't remember the name of it, so it doesn't matter. I do love Alien Hospital, though. It sounds great. Let's see. So it's lethal to its predecessors, only to humans or others. Maybe that's another Star Trek episode. They start doing it to some other species, and it gets back to them. So Data says goodbye to Pulaski. Troy comforts the captain. Data's about to beam.
Yeah, and I was very against this. Like, Data should not return. They don't know if anything stuck to him somehow. Like, I don't see how they could, just because he's not, like, infected doesn't mean that you can't just bring some stuff. Like, they don't even disinfect him,
They should have a special transporter room on a shuttle.
Yeah.
With force fields. With a bomb attached to it. You know, like, they should take precautions.
Or just leave him there at the station for now, you know. It's not a rush, you know.
They didn't need him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So there is a funny moment where a guy goes, "No life forms detected, sir." It's like, he's already here. You couldn't have a force fielded chamber where he goes first? Or I don't know.
I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. I don't buy that there's no life forms. I mean, there's so much different bacteria and stuff everywhere. He would have some, I feel like, on his skin.
Oh, well, that's the biofilter. That happens automatically. But because they don't know what this shit is, they can't biofilter it out.
But we have bacteria on our skin. You can't remove... I mean, I guess with him you could.
It probably keeps the normal ones.
What? That's so complicated. It's like, this one is a little bit mutated. Is that fine? No, I don't know.
Now I'm seeing like it's like a mountain range, right? And we've got like little red farmers and little blue miners, and like lasers are coming out of the sky shooting the miners.
And then one person has a problem that every time they transport, they actually remove some of their skin bacteria, so they are like smelly, you know, because like the bacteria got disrupted by the transport.
Their skin's peeling or some other wild stuff.
Yeah, or the gut bacteria, kind of like some of it disappeared, and they're like, no, now I have stomachache.
Yikes. So Picard says hi. He says, "Now quickly, if the changes in Dr. Pulaski's DNA were reversed, would it be possible?" And Data's like, "It is not reversible, sir. Let me shit on your plans immediately." But then immediately flip that around. Apparently they could reverse her cell damage with the transporter.
Yeah.
So like, why did... It's irreversible, but with the transporter, we can reverse it.
Yeah. It was very unclear. Like, it's not like this is her body. It's not like it's some kind of just added veneer that they can just remove, you know?
Yeah.
Her cells have aged, like, specifically.
Okay, this is major. Okay. If this works, they could do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they might lose like a week of memories, right? I assume those are stored with the body, like, at the time it's transported.
Is that what they do?
This one's from a follicle of hair, right?
Yeah.
Which could be anywhere from 4 hours old to 2 weeks. We have no idea how long it was in that hairbrush, right?
Yeah.
But shouldn't her memories have stopped to that point?
Oh, so they're kind of recreating her body? Is that what you're saying? So, like, it's not that they are reversing anything. It's that they are just like, let's take some of her, you know, from this transport and some of her from this, like, backup that we made.
It's almost like they're simulating a Pulaski, like the platonic Pulaski, right? That's in the computer. Yeah. And then they have whatever's coming up as she beams up. And then they're like comparing those two, but they're just swapping the physical cells and not the memories, I guess.
I think so. No wonder she's against this transport. This seems horrible. Like, could they just beam a new one in? Like, oh, will you just make a copy? Like, now you have two.
Another great idea that fits her worry about transporter. We could spend more time on that.
I'm fine with, like, but I would have liked a little bit more. I feel it's like a little bit extreme of a technology, I suppose.
It needed visuals, right? We needed to see the human, like, line drawing person, and like it doubles up, and then we see like little beasties getting zapped out or whatever. But yeah, the memories thing is fucked up, right? Like, what if they went off her transporter trace from a week ago?
Yeah.
And she couldn't remember any of this shit, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like her brain has to be old still, you know, and then so like her body, some part of her body is still changed.
But the implications, if you could do this, why not
Yeah, you
dial
could
it back
de-age
another
everyone.
week? Yeah, de-age
Yeah.
everyone to when they were 30 or whatever. Now, it might, we've learned in this episode that they don't store them very long. They probably take up a lot of data or whatever. But some rich guy, some lunatic somewhere would store his 800 million backups.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you could bounce around in your own personal timeline. I want to be 6 today and play in a puddle. I want to be 40 and ride a
Oh, wow.
skis.
Yeah, that would be very creepy.
Ride a skis. That's space skis.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think about this actually connected to when they saw this original crew that were dead. And they were like, they died of old age. And I don't even feel like there's anything that is old age, right?
Mm-mm.
There's always a cause. Like, even, of course, it's like not necessarily a disease, but, you know, the body breaks down in different ways. So I wonder if you have all this perfect technology medically, would people even die of old age? Or could you keep them alive indefinitely? Because that's the
Precisely.
same thing, like connected to this, you know.
Yeah, you could even maybe, with the implications of this episode, keep their current memories and switch out 99% of their physical body
Yeah, it seems that way.
and just keep it that way forever. Just transport once a day and you're good to go.
Yeah. Maybe they don't think about it because this is not something that it's moral to them. Like if they have this medical technology, maybe they have decided like, no, we are not gonna live forever because we need, you know, new generations to be allowed to come. Otherwise, we're gonna be all crowded with old people.
Okay, you're talking about a Logan's Run scenario in which the government says at a certain point you will die. In Logan's Run, it's when you turn 30, but like in this society, 200 or, you know, whenever you feel like it, just kick the bucket 'cause somebody else needs your job.
I don't think it's necessarily the government. I just feel like if we have this kind of utopian future scenario, I could see it being like accepted as just a social rule that it's like, yes, you know, of course I would like to live forever, but like it's not reasonable, and that people are just like logically being like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So they don't do this kind of, they allow people to age, but I don't know. I think I'm giving it too much credit in this sense.
Okay, in a more solar punky direction, what if they have this technology, like you say, and it's utopia, so they don't really use it, but for birthdays or whatever, you might rent an experience where you are 30 again physically, right? And you like go to some simulated Six Flags or whatever, and you're like, yeah. You don't have to watch your kids for a week or whatever, like.
Yeah, they could have that connected to the holodeck maybe, so that you really get into this specific mindset, you know. And I think it's just hard to do in TV to portray that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I mean, are you saying that like there's so many different hang-ups that prevent us from using technology? Good ones, I would say, but you know, like we could do a lot with technology right now that we don't do because we find it distasteful. So maybe they would have the same thing where they're like, of course I'm not gonna like engineer my children's genes, you know, or like things like that.
Well, in future iterations of Star Trek, they just outright ban it. They're like, that's
Which
not
one?
okay. We're not doing that. Deep Space Nine, I think, or maybe
No,
even later.
What do they ban? Do you mean?
Oh, they ban the genetic engineering of human beings.
Oh yeah, because of these telepathic murdered children in this one.
Well, just because they don't want to deal with the infinite complexity. This is my theory: is that the producers don't want to have an infinite complexity of human expressions of form, right? Because their cultures would all be vastly different if there were flying humans or telepathic humans or whatever.
I think that's smart because that's also always a tricky thing with sci-fi because it's like we want people we want to have some kind of reference and be able to relate to the people, but in reality probably they would be so alien that we would not even be able to understand, like have the same kind of context. And I think so then you have to keep the humans kind of similar to us, even though there's not really a practical reason why, if you have all this technology, why people wouldn't change. Just the culture would be so different, like the different ways that people think about things, and we would be too alienated from it.
Right. So to keep a TV show grounded, you have to have certain boundaries.
Yeah.
But the way human beings are in real life, if we can do a thing, at least one of us will do it.
Yeah.
You know
totally.
what I mean? Whether it's murder or cannibalism or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And with something this transformative, you better believe somebody would do it, and it would throw everything into chaos. So we go back to Medbay. Data and Riker are doing a little research. So they need a cell from Pulaski to do their attempt, and they find a hairbrush. Data says, "It has a follicle, sir. Live cells."
It has a follicle, sir. Live cells.
How live can a cell be outside the body? Like,
yeah,
how long
I
does
agree.
that
I don't
last?
think it would stay alive. Not viable, I guess. But I think that they could have had, like, this would actually be good if she had kind of cataloged everyone's cells or something, so that they had, like, this information.
Right. That's why they go through all this rigmarole about her trace and stuff. It's like she doesn't exist in the system. Like, she's outside the grid, man. Like, everybody would have their blood types recorded. They would, there'd be all these medical reasons why you'd want their DNA on file.
I think that the information that is contained in this hair follicle would be, surely you would be able to put that in a computer. So what I mean, it could be interesting if she had made this kind of record of everyone's cells, and then it could be like she was so thorough, so that they're like, oh, we have this, like she recorded her own cell,
Ooh, the cold open could be her annoyingly making everyone take this test.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's set it up. Oh, okay, I like this. So back on the bridge, Picard chats with Pulaski. Everyone's worried because she does not look great. He says, "We have a sample of your normal DNA." And that's just hurtful. She's trying her best. This is when O'Brien tells Picard that it's an irreversible beaming. Meaning that if it doesn't work, she's atoms in the wind. So Picard decides to run the board himself. He says, "Are you ready?" And she says, "I suppose I am, Captain." And it goes so slowly. This beam up takes forever. It's almost as if the ep was running short, and so they stretched. Did it feel that way to you?
I think this is the same with the suspense, that it's supposed to be like, because you also see her with, like, the old face, in the trance, like, that she's almost forming, and then they change it to that, which doesn't make sense from how they described it.
Well, they have a platonic Pulaski in the system, right? And they compare it to old, and then they sort of shave off all the old cells and make them the new cells. I'm not against the effect in principle.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it just looked kind of bad.
So it's a way to symbolize what they do. Yeah. Just for me, I felt like when you see the person forming, I'm assuming that's everything is done already. It's like with a computer,
right.
Everything happens. Then you see the visual. But I guess they wanted to show kind of like how, I think it would make more sense to have it on a computer or something.
Trek will always go visual when they can, even if it looks janky, because, like, you don't want to make people think too hard or ask too many questions.
Yeah, but I can see also how, it is not super satisfying to have everything be, abstract. You want to be able to kind of show it, portray it.
Now, for all my trash talk of this episode, when she was alive, I was like, like I legitimately was moved.
Mm.
And then she hugs the captain and giggles. Ooh, that moved me.
Doctor, good to see you, Doctor.
Welcome back, Doctor.
Come.
I wasn't sure that she would make it. In the middle, I felt like they were pretty good at being like, oh no, she's gone. And I thought it could happen.
I mean, we've already lost one doctor.
Yeah.
If this was modern TV, we would be like,
die.
ooh. No, I just mean lost from the show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the corridor, she's gushing to Picard. Just excited about being spread across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just reiterates how much she hates the transporter.
Yeah, which to me, totally fair. I think it's not. In some ways, I like the way that they handle it because they have shown several people being against doing this teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this idea that, it is this really contested thing within the universe, and we are agreeing, like, okay, yeah, it does seem very, questionable.
They've
this
been
whole
doing
thing.
it for 200 years at this point. Like, you think they'd have gotten used to it.
No, I don't think so. I think that this kind of thing, like, it's going to be a philosophical thing. Like, people are going to be like, no, this is against my beliefs. Like, in the same sense that people do all this kind of religious stuff nowadays. Or have they outgrown religion? Is that a thing?
That is a crucial part of the Star Trek ethos, is that almost all humans are beyond that shit. Like, another thing they just don't explain. Like, we know transporters and replicators democratize travel and food. Like, how do you democratize religion? It's essentially divisive.
Yeah. But I think that I like this idea that this is connected to this kind of religious, like, I could see it being that they portray that, okay, there's no organized religion, but that doesn't mean that people won't have kind of a sense of what do you call it, like, sense of something beyond themselves or things that are sacred, so
Yeah,
I think that this is just this is just something about some people hold this for sacred that you should not transport, and I think that I would probably agree with them, even though I would do it just for practical reasons. But I would be like, I understand, like, you're admirable that you are doing all this impractical thing just for your principles. But
I mean, it's basically like not driving a car today. You have to, like, bum rides from other people. Like, she's always tracking down a pilot.
Yes.
Oh, well, anyway, she's always trying to track down a pilot to fly her around.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I think that it's an appropriate level. People are used to this thing, but they're also like, yes, some people don't like it, and it's not totally unreasonable.
I'd love to sit down with Catherine and just pick her brain. Like, what is it exactly that freaks you out about it?
Yeah, I mean, I could see many things. I agree with her.
So, what did you think of this last scene where they've intercut a regular ass bridge shot with her voiceover, her medical officer's log?
I don't know. I didn't think that much of it. Like, I was more thinking. For me, the final thing was like when they blew up the ship with
yes, they get into missile range. We hear the quarantine message repeating, and then boom. For me, this was fine, but it almost seemed like just an excuse to give Wesley a line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had nothing to do in this episode.
Yeah, that's true.
And it just ends with everybody looking, like, kind of down because a bunch of people died. And then Picard walks glumly forward and gives like the limpest engage ever. It's just like, oh, do we have to?
I don't know. I didn't think it's like. I saw it more as kind of like cool. I don't know. Like, how would you say it? Like this kind of idea that you're like. I thought it was more some kind of casual thing. Like it's like casual, and therefore it's funny to have it in.
It's like he's just had a long, hard day. Well, why not? Let's engage.
I don't know. Maybe it's not important, but like I'm not sure how to describe it. But there's some kind of concept of like when someone is more relaxed, it's like something that can. It didn't work in this instance, but it can work that someone is doing something in like a relaxed way, and it looks like
sure.
It's like cool. So I think that's what they were going for, like kind of doing this kind of let's go, But it could be that he was just sad and he didn't want to do some kind of like big gesture.
Data is performatively furrowing his brow in sadness with the others. Oh my God, that's wonderful. I would have liked to spend an episode all about Pulaski's imminent death to end with a scene where she's in it rather than just like talking over the soundtrack, but it's Star Trek. You got to do their shit on the bridge. So after our talk, do you feel like you like the episode better now that you've gone through it? No,
not really. I think just the central premise of the emergency wasn't there, so it falls apart because of that. It doesn't. You can't, and there was no B plot, so it's not like I have anything that I can be like, oh, this other thing. Like, no, the whole premise didn't work.
What would the B plot even be? I mean, I guess it would be Pulaski's inner life.
Yeah, maybe the B plot was the Pulaski Picard like dynamics, but it was related. But that's the closest I could think of. So I guess that's the only thing. Like I like that they had like one plot and everything was connected to that, because I think sometimes it can feel a little bit strange when they have like, oh, this other person is doing something totally like unrelated. And
yeah, this was doctor focused. She goes to visit Geordi for reasons, and then we end on the bridge so Wesley can do his job.
Yeah. One thing that I did like that I didn't mention back when it happened was that, when Data returns, Picard is just like, oh, we have to say, and then it's like have to pause and be like I'm happy you're back, and then like continues.
Oh yes, yeah,
so I like
great.
that. It was, and I think maybe that's connected to the thing that we didn't like with when they were talking to the colony, at first, and Picard was like, everyone was dead on this ship, that maybe he feels like this is kind of you have to always acknowledge, like you can't just skip past it. You have to be like, take a moment, say like, that's sad that people died, now we go on.
Yeah.
So I'm in some ways,
it's like
I
he's
like
teaching him human customs.
Oh yeah, to Data, sure. But I just think that this is something that is like, I feel like almost there's some kind of regulation or something about it, where it's like every time if people die.
It's called the Picard Method. You always have to welcome somebody on the ship, and you have to perform sadness when people die and acknowledge their sacrifice or whatever.
Yeah, so that's why Data had the furrow brow, because Picard has been like, no, you have to be like sad at this point. But I'm not saying that it's not also real, but I'm just saying that I could totally see it in the future. You have this kind of customs that are connected to, like, it's not just something that you're supposed to do spontaneously, whatever you feel like, that they have this kind of rules about like, okay, but people need to acknowledge like sadness even if you're in a stress situation, so you always have to be like, yes, take a beat, like this is sad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is some kind of like method to it.
I think Picard gives classes on it at like quarterly seminars.
Mm.
You must make people feel that you care whether their children have died.
Yeah. And not even just make people feel like, what I mean is that I think that if you're in this kind of ship, even though it's not like technically military, I guess, or like they have science mission, but they are still like a lot of times in this kind of combat situation, this kind of thing. And I think it's like one of those things where you can very easily forget that there are humans on the other side of it, like, or people, So I think that this is some kind of check, like you have to always keep in mind the human side and not get too caught up in this like technology and the practical and the logistics. So it's like a kind of it has a function. It's supposed to be. It's kind of like if you do a check-in in a meeting, and the check-in is in order to like make some kind of connection.
It's not just normal human stuff. It has benefits that are like recognized. Maybe it helps limit trauma, or group cohesion is improved, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like it's like a psychology thing where it's like you should do this. This is like we have scientifically proven it has good effect on preventing unnecessarily cruel behavior or something.
Yeah. Well, as far as its legacy, this one, besides old age makeup, Pulaski, it's the idea that they will include earth-breaking technological improvements and then sequester them on planets, like so it doesn't change Star Trek culture.
Yeah, I can see that. It's really hard to do like disruptive things every episode. I guess it's almost like with a drama, a lot of times I dislike dramas, at least like they used to be written, because a lot of times they would have this episode where people would have a breakthrough, like characters would be like, oh, now I understand you, like, oh, like we now connected. And then the next episode, they're like back to the way that they were, because it's not like if everything is fixed, there is no conflict anymore. And then they just reverse back to before they had this kind of connection to each other. So it's almost like that, but with science.
The USS Lantry, a name that will be forgotten as soon as I finish editing this episode.
Yeah. But I did, like I said, I did like that they ended on this, like, that they were a little bit somber about it.
There's so many moments. I feel like this episode could have used more Riker and more Troy. What we got of Troy was pretty good.
I think that with some other episodes that we have watched, that were ones I have felt like, yeah, this has potential. But this one, I didn't even feel like. Like, I didn't feel like there was anything.
It's too broken?
Yeah, it was too... I think that just... it is too broad, maybe. Like, the way that these children are, like, everything and, like, has so many powers. And it's like, it feels like there's no central core to this episode. It doesn't have anything to really build on.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to introduce super kids, we should see them do something rather than just be silent playing chess or whatever.
I agree. It seemed like they didn't have any sort of role in this thing. It would have been make more sense if they were...
Dude, Wesley could have made friends with one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Boy in the Bubble style. Like they play cards like on the other side of a...
Yeah.
I'm writing an episode. Stop it, Jeff. So for quote, we've got Worf shouts a trick. Something about the future of humanity. He's a human being who needs our help. Or my favorite, let's just say you both have well-established personalities.
Yeah, you should take that one. That feels like it's the central of this. Because it really does feel like it's about those two, right? That is like the actual story of it.
It's not just Worf being silly. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Folks, if you want to find me, I'm all over social media at El Jefe Tacoma. You can send us an email, greatandsecretknowledge@gmail.com. Wait, I forgot recommendations. Do you have any recommendations this week?
I have been reading Service Model, but I can't say his name. Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Yes.
Had you read that one, or you talked about some Adrian Tchaikovsky?
Is that the one about like a friendly robot going through busted up factories and stuff?
There's robots. Yeah,
I like
it was
that one.
funny because when I read the description previously, or heard people talk about it, I thought that it would be some kind of Murderbot parody or like homage, and it's not that at all. Like it's not similar at all. Even though maybe this is like Murderbot's nightmare book, because it's like all these robots that are just stuck like doing this like meaningless task because humans have either died. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to that yet. So either they're just neglecting them, or they died, or they're imprisoned. It's unclear.
Yeah,
but
listener,
it is funny.
If you haven't... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say it's funny, but it's also very bleak. But it's like humorous.
Yeah. It's funny bleak. You don't get those very often. But I would say that Tchaikovsky, if you haven't read him, he's very good. I don't know how to put it. Like he not every book is exactly the same. It could be wildly different settings, different ideas, very thoughtful tales.
That's true. Yeah, because I liked some of his books a lot.
He was nominated for the Hugo twice last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I liked some of his books, and then some I really disliked. So it does seem like if you like, or if you didn't like one of his books, then don't write him off.
Yeah, you might like this one. Yeah, if you like funny and bleak, if you're a Fallout 3 fan, you would probably enjoy it. Or a Wall-E fan. I bet there's some Wall-E fans out there. My recommendation, it's old stuff. I read listening to the Expanse series and 12 Months, the latest Dresden Files book. Those are good. I don't know if I've gotten anything brand new.
Yeah, with the Expanse, whenever I think about the book, I'm just like, the show is so good. That's like, I just see the books as some kind of draft for the show because I love the show.
Hell yeah. I read the third Scholomance book by Naomi Novik. It was a good end of a trilogy. It was a lot of powerful themes and stuff. So if you like Magic School written by someone that's not an asshole, check out the Scholomance trilogy. This one's called The Golden Sutras, I believe. No, The Golden Enclaves. Or Enclaves, depending on how you pronounce that. We have a Facebook page, Great and Secret Knowledge. We have a Discord server. You can find out about that on the show notes, and listen to my other show, Shattered Worlds RPG, or watch Omniversal Escapades every other Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Omniversal Escapades, or archived over at YouTube. As always, like us, follow us, rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends and family about us and what we do. And yeah, I guess that's everything. We've talked for enough length of time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let's just say you both have well-established personalities.
A huge thanks to James Lark of jameslark.co.uk for providing our wonderful theme song. Thank you, James. All right, Sophia, have a good night.
For me, it's morning.
Oh, it's morning, of course. All right, Sophia, have a great morning.
Yes. Have a good night.
Thelusian flu.
The Lusian flu.
The Lusian flu.
A trick!